I think that covers everything, Miss Woodford.
Very good, Mrs. Phillips.
Now, I trust you will keep the housemaids in order while I'm away. I don't want to come back and find they've been slacking. You know my standards.
Oh, I do, Mrs. Phillips. I'll keep them hard at it.
Very good. I trust you will. Now you may go.
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips.
You'll only be gone a few days, Harriet. I don't think you need to worry.
Oh, but I do worry, Rebecca. I almost wish I wasn't going away at all. This will be the first time in over 3 years that I've left the house in the hands of others.
Oh yes, I know what you mean. This wedding must be very important for you.
Oh, it is, Rebecca, it is.
What's he like, this nephew of yours? Samuel, did you say his name is?
Yes, Samuel. Well, he's 28 years old.
Your sister's son?
Yes, my sister's boy. He's presently working as a clerk, I believe.
Oh, educated to some extent then.
Oh, indeed. I made sure he could learn to read and write from an early age.
You made sure? You were close then?
What I meant to say is I ensured that my sister saw to it. I never had the chance of going to school as a child, and I didn't want the same to happen to him. It's so much more important for a boy to be lettered, don't you think, Rebecca?
You have a fine hand now, my dear. I've seen your accounting books.
Ah, yes. Well, I was lucky enough to have a sympathetic employer who taught me some years back.
Is everything in order, my dear? I know you're anxious about leaving the household, but you don't seem quite yourself today.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine, Rebecca. Although, I must confess, I'm a little anxious about the journey. Bermondsey is such a long way.
So I believe.
Enter. Yes, what is it, Hannah?
Please, Mum. Miss Woodford sent me to say she needs some fresh linen for the guest room.
Oh, yes, I have it all ready for you. Follow me and you can take it with you. Oh, and please don't go, Mrs. Appleby. I'll be right back. Shall I send for some more tea? This must be getting cold by now.
No, thank you, not for me. But can I ask you, dear, have you thought of what you are going to wear to this wedding?
Well, not really. I thought I'd just wear...
It's just that I have a very suitable dress you could borrow. Her ladyship passed it down to me a while ago, but it doesn't fit me anymore, and it's not worth altering because I won't have any occasion to wear it.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Rebecca. Are you sure?
Absolutely. You want to look your best for your nephew.
Oh, how kind of you. What would I do without you?
Well, do forgive me, dear. I don't want to pry into your private affairs. But, oh dear, this is awkward.
Rebecca, whatever is it?
I didn't intend to, but I accidentally caught a glimpse of the letter on your table.
The letter from my nephew?
You know, dear Harriet, you can confide in me. We've known each other a long time.
I don't know what you mean.
The letter, it began, "Dearest Mother."
Oh, well, you see, he calls me that rather than aunt because I'm his godmother.
Oh, I see. So that's why you had a hand in seeing that he went to school?
Yes, that's so. Being in service all of my life, I've not had a chance to do much for him. But I did...
Of course, I understand. I'll go and fetch that dress for you now. You're going to look a picture in it.
Well, thank you, Rebecca.
What do you think, Hood? Do I look a proper toff?
I wish you wouldn't call me Hood, Eliza. My name's Hannah.
All right, Hood. Hannah. I bet Mrs. P doesn't call you that. Anyway, what are you doing?
I'm reading.
I can see that, but what?
The Bible, if you must know.
What? I get enough of that in church on a Sunday. If that's all there is to read, I'm glad I never learnt. It don't do you no good, all that reading. Why don't you come out and have a bit of fun with us? It's your afternoon off, isn't it? Oh, there you are at last, Mary. Where you been?
Sorry.
We're supposed to be going out.
I'm sorry. Mrs. Phillips made me sweep all the bedrooms again.
Oh, is she back then?
Backing on the warpath, I reckon. I heard her telling someone off this morning and all.
Yeah, well, they're lucky if that's all she did. She took one look at my dust piles and said they weren't big enough and I couldn't have done me work proper. So I had to do it all again.
Oh, poor you. Where do you think she's been anyway?
Miss Woodford said she's gone to her nephew's wedding, but I don't believe that.
Oh?
Nah, I reckon she's got a secret lover and they've been carrying on somewhere.
In a secret bower.
A lover's tryst. Whatever that is. I mean, can you picture it? She fell into his manly arms.
Oh, Algernon,
Oh, Agnes, what luscious lips you have.
Is that her name?
who knows?
I long to press my lips to yours. Come, let me ravish you.
What on earth is going on in here?
We were just getting ready for our afternoon off, miss.
Out in the corridor, at once. And you, Hannah? Are you not going out?
No, miss. I was going to stay in and read.
Oh, reading something suitable, I hope. Show me the book. The Bible? Very good, Hannah. I didn't realise you could read. Who taught you?
I went to school, miss.
You went to school? Where?
In the village, miss. I was born in Ticknall, so I went to school there. Only for a short while, miss. But they taught me how to read and write and numbers.
Oh, very good, Hannah. Well, I'll leave you to your reading.
Thank you, miss.
And where do you plan on spending your afternoon off, Mary?
We're just going into the village for a walk, miss.
Well, make sure you don't visit any unsuitable establishments. Public houses, tea gardens.
No, miss, just a walk.
And you, Eliza, take off that ridiculous hat. You certainly can't go out dressed like that.
Yes, miss.
And you, Mary Darlington, do you propose to go out dressed like that?
No, miss, I've only just got back from sweeping. I've not had a chance to change.
Well, if you'd have done the job properly in the first place, you would have had ample time to change. Now, get out of those clothes and go and put on some suitable outdoor wear. And mind you report back to work on time. Plenty to be done this evening.
Yes, miss. Oh, Lord. I'm not sure about that lover after all. Who could love her?
Don't be mean, Mary. You're bound to get told off if you don't do your work properly.
Yeah, all right, Miss Goody-Goody. Go back to your boring old books. We're going out to have some fun.
All right, dear, you look rather flustered.
Oh, Rebecca, it's those maids. They are so flighty. They make me despair. I just had to make Mary Darlington go over all the bedrooms again. I think she just walks in, waves a broom at the room, and then wanders away.
Oh, dear. I knew a nursery maid like that once, before you came, Harriet. But if there's anyone that keeps them hard at it, it's you.
Oh, they make me despair. 2 of them are just off out for their afternoon off. Goodness knows what they intend to get up to.
Well, they can't get up to very much in an afternoon in the village, even if they get that far. It's such a long way.
But Rebecca, that's the problem. They don't have to get as far as the village to get up to no good. They could be meeting anybody in the woods. Work boys from the lime yards, village boys.
Well, if they come back pregnant, you know what will happen. They'll be out the door before they know it, and without a character. It'll be the workhouse for them, and no mistake.
Oh, if only they had the sense to realise. The world can be a harsh place for a single girl with a baby on the way.
Well, let's not dwell on what might happen. I expect they'll be back in a couple of hours, as flighty and saucy as ever.
Yes, But you know, if only they could be more like Hannah Hudson. Now there's a girl with her feet on the ground.
I don't know any of the housemaids by name.
She's a young girl, 23. She was born near here.
Hudson, was her father ever the gamekeeper here?
You know, I believe so. So she would have grown up on the estate. I went up into the maid's dormitory not long ago and I found her reading the Bible. I had no idea she could read. Apparently she went to school in the village.
That will be Lady Crew's school. I believe the girls are handpicked by her ladyship herself. It's considered a privilege to go there.
Oh, what a pity there's not more opportunities like that. You remember me telling you I didn't have the opportunity of going to school when I was young?
You were taught by a previous employer.
Well, I wonder.
What are you thinking, my dear?
Well, do you think some of our girls could be taught? Just something simple, reading, writing and a little number work.
Would it be worthwhile? Boys, perhaps, but servant girls. What use could they make of it?
Oh, well, I'm not thinking of the likes of Mary Darlington, although it might have some benefits there. No, I'm thinking more of sensible girls, like Harriett Alder. Now, she could go far if she got a little bit of help, even rise to the position of housekeeper in time, but she'd need to be able to read and write.
Well, I suppose you may have something there.
I think I might speak to her ladyship tomorrow.
Well, tell me how you get on. But now I must get on myself. Master Hugo will have finished his lessons by now. Oh, and he's become quite a handful, worse than those maids of yours. Oh, Harriet, I forgot. The wedding, how was it?
Oh, it went very well, thank you, Rebecca.
Oh, you must come down to the nursery later. I want to hear all about it.
There's nothing really to tell. But I will return the dress to you this evening and thank you again for the loan of it.
Don't think anything of it. I expect you stole the show.
I hope not. It was the bride's day after all.
Well, I want to hear all about it, but now I must fly.
That looks most satisfactory, Mrs. Phillips.
Very good, my lady.
And please tell cook that we'll have the venison on Saturday.
I will, my lady.
I think that's all for now.
Thank you, my lady.
Was there something else, Mrs. Phillips?
Well, ma'am, I wondered if I might mention something.
Yes, what is it?
Well, it's just an idea of mine. I was wondering if we might help some of the maids to better themselves a little.
In what way?
Well, ma'am, some of the maids cannot read or write, and I wondered if I might arrange for some lessons for them.
Really? Would they have time for that?
Oh, I believe so, ma'am. They sometimes have an hour to themselves in the afternoons.
Well, the family have always been keen on seeing that the lower classes have a little bit of schooling. Nothing above their station, of course.
Oh, indeed, ma'am. One of our housemaids, Hannah Hudson, is able to read the Bible. She attended Lady Crew's school in the village, I believe.
Oh, yes. The Hudsons have been tenants of ours for many years.
Yes, ma'am, so I've been told.
Well, I have no objections, as long as it doesn't distract the maids from their work. I'll leave all the arrangements to you.
Very good, and thank you, my lady. Oh, so this is what you've been doing so far. Perhaps you'd like to try and read it to me, Harriet. Would that work? Very good.
The Lord's my
shepherd. The Lord's my shepherd.
Of course. The Lord's my shepherd. I'll not want. He makes me down to lie in
pastures. Very good, Harriet. Go on, you're doing very well.
In pastures green he
In pastures green he leadeth me.
Of course, beg pardon, miss. In pastures green he leadeth me, the
quiet waters by. Very good, Harriet. Did you write that out by yourself?
Yes, miss. I copied it from Hannah Hudson's Bible. She's been helping me, miss, but it's not easy.
Worthwhile things rarely come easily in life, Harriet. But if you persevere, you will get there. Just think of the benefits you'll reap being able to read and write.
You really think so, miss?
Oh, indeed I do. If you want a career in service, you need to be able to read and write. You don't want to remain a junior housemaid all of your life, do you?
No, miss.
Well, we must get along. It'll soon be time to start taking the water up to the bedrooms for the family to dress for dinner. Let's get along.
Yes, miss. Thank you, miss.
Late again, Mary Darlington? You'll have the family down for breakfast before you even swept the dining room. Now get on with you, girl.
Yes, miss.
Go on, get on.
Yes, miss.
Oh, and what about the early morning teas for the family?
Hannah Hudson and Miss Woodford done it, miss.
Dearest mother, great news. Emma has given me a son. A son, mother. We're going to call him Frank. He is strong and healthy, and Emma is well. I wish you could see him, mother.
Oh, so do I, Sam, so do I.
With much love, your son, Sam.
Oh, Sam, if only I could. Not now, Caroline. I have to see cook about the menus before her ladyship comes down. Enter. Oh, Rebecca, do come in. I'll send for some tea.
Are you all right? You look upset.
No, I'm perfectly fine, Rebecca. I'll send for one of the maids.
No, not on my account. Something has upset you.
No, it's nothing, Rebecca.
I can see that you've been crying. Is it something to do with that letter you're trying to hide?
Oh, sit down, Rebecca. Let's chat.
I've told you before you can confide in me, but I don't want to press you.
It is the letter, Rebecca.
A death in the family?
Yes.
Take your time, my dear. Do you want me to call for tea?
No, I'm fine, really.
Your nephew?
Yes. Well, not Samuel himself. They lost their child. Lived only a week.
Oh, how distressing. Their first?
No, they have 2 young sons. But still... Oh. Rebecca, I should be there. It's a grandmother's duty to be there.
You mean godmother? And surely their own parents will be there to comfort them.
Oh, Rebecca, I'm not Samuel's godmother. He's my son. Oh.
Oh, my dear girl, why didn't you tell me before?
I was too ashamed, Rebecca.
Ashamed?
I'm still ashamed.
Ashamed of your son?
Ashamed of myself. He was born out of wedlock.
You mean he's a...
No, don't say that word, Rebecca. Such an ugly word.
Well, what's to be done?
Nothing. There's nothing I can do. I can't ask for more leave of absence. But to think of their grief breaks my heart. A child I'll never see. I've never seen the other two. Grandchildren I've never seen. Oh, it seems so unfair, Rebecca. I never had the chance to raise my own son. Being in service all of my life, we always had to live apart. Brief visits were the only thing I had with my own child. Can you imagine the heartache? And now this.
I feel for you, Harriet, I really do. Have you spoken to her ladyship?
Oh no, how could I? If she knew Samuel was my son, I would lose my place here, and then what would become of me?
She thinks he is your nephew.
Yes, and the death of a great nephew? Well, I doubt she'd release me for that.
But you've been in service here for over 10 years, and you're a valuable member of the household. Surely her ladyship will be sympathetic.
Oh, perhaps. Oh, but Rebecca, I hate these lies. It makes it all the more distressing. The death of a child is bad enough, but to have to deny your own child? Can you begin to imagine?
Oh, I think I have an inkling. I may have had no children of my own, but I have cared for many children in service, and some of them did seem like my own.
Did you never think of getting married and having your own?
Actually, I was married over 30 years ago, but we had no children.
Rebecca, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
It only lasted 3 years. Thomas died suddenly, and I was left a widow. So I went into service. I was children's nurse for the Reverend Henry Crew at Bredsall before I came here. But look, enough of me. What are we going to do about you? Will you speak to her ladyship?
Yes, I think I will.
Good. Now I think I will take some tea, and you could obviously do with some. Let me ring for the maid.
We don't know whether Harriet ever got to visit her son and grandchildren while she was still in service. Her daughter-in-law gave birth to 10 children in all, with only 7 still surviving by 1911, so the family suffered 3 bereavements. But we do know that Harriet did eventually get to spend time with her family.
All ready to go.
Yes, John is taking me to the station.
We're really going to miss you.
Oh, and you, Rebecca. 18 years. It's been a long time.
You're going to find it very different living with your son.
Yes, well, I think it'll take a little time to adjust. But I can't wait to see the grandchildren every day.
Well, I hope you're still going to be saying that in a few months' time. Children can be a trial as well as a joy. I should know. And you won't have all this space to get away from everything.
No, Samuel's house is very modest.
How many children are there?
7.
Oh, goodness! And this is supposed to be your retirement?
Oh, we'll manage. But what about you, Rebecca? Have you never thought of retiring? You've been here longer than I have, and there are no children left here.
Well, that's just it, Harriet. I've been so long here that I can't think of living anywhere else. And I'm too old to move now anyway, even if I had anywhere to go. I have no family of my own. This is the only family that I know.
Oh. Enter.
Please, miss, Mr. Banton says he's ready in the yard.
Oh yes, tell him I'll be down directly.
Yes, miss.
Look after yourself and don't forget to write.
Oh, I won't. Come down to the yard with me, Rebecca. We can say our final goodbyes there.
Harriett Phillips went to live with her son Samuel, his wife Emma and their children for the next 12 years until her death in 1895. Samuel died in the same year. Her eldest grandson, Frank, died at the early age of 21 in 1893. Rebecca Appleby spent the rest of her life at Calke Abbey. She died in March 1887, aged 71, and is buried in the churchyard at Calke within the family plot. Hannah Hudson pursued her career in service and eventually rose to be housekeeper to the Reverend William Purchase in Alstonfield. She died in 1916.